Good evening, everybody. It's 7 o'clock on my time, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. First off, I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your evening to learn a little bit about Canvas. I promise that this is going to be done in about 15 minutes or less. We will be recording this and we'll upload this to our district webpage and also to our Facebook. So if you want to review it at any point, or if you know somebody that was unable to attend, they can go back and take a look at it. What I'm going to go ahead and do is just jump right into a quick presentation, and we'll go ahead and just jump in real quick. If you have questions at any point, please don't be shy about asking, or you can put stuff in the chat box over here. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. So you should see a screen that says staying organized, getting started module. It's gray. Can somebody give me a thumbs up if you see that? All right. So what we're going to look at today, first off, I want to introduce myself. I'm Brian Houghton. I'm the assistant principal and curriculum director. Want to make sure that you all have access to my contact information because I'm going to be able to help you with anything that you might need. You've got my email address right there, and then my work phone number and my cell phone number. So you can always reach out and ask questions at any point. What we're going to cover tonight is we're going to review what Canvas is. We're going to review how to access Canvas, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the Getting Started module and why that's going to be really important that you guys all know where that is, what information is in there, and how that's going to be beneficial to you. So we're going to jump right in. First off, we're going to talk a little bit about what is Canvas. And Canvas is a learning management system. It provides a seamless and common interface for teaching and learning, submission of assignments, participation in discussions, receiving feedback, staying organized, etc. The other night, we spent a little bit of time talking a lot about how the to-do list and the calendar really helps with some of those, some of that task on staying organized. And that video is also online on our district webpage and on Facebook. You can go back and take a look at that. This platform is used by schools, colleges, and universities all across the United States. At last count, it's used by about 700 different colleges and universities. So this is a platform that lots and lots of students are going to be using in both their primary and secondary, and then their post-secondary as well. We spent a lot of time really trying to look at our interface and making sure that we have a common platform for everybody. So we're going to just dive right in and take a look at this. And we're going to look at how to access Canvas. And we're just going to jump into the website version of it at FredoniaKS.Instructure.com. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick, and I'm going to jump over to my web browser. And I'm going to start sharing my screen again. You should see a screen that says Dashboard, Published Courses. Can somebody give me a thumbs up if you see that? All right. So what we're seeing here, this is the main dashboard interface, and we see all of these different courses that a student might be enrolled in. These are courses that are in my side on the administrator side, so these aren't any courses that an actual student would be in. We see navigation over here along the left-hand side, so we see the calendar where they can go to switch between different courses. We see where they can sign out, things along those lines. Over here on the right-hand side, we see their to-do list, feedback, and so on. And again, those are items we covered in the last session. I'd be happy to visit with any of you if you have questions about those, and encourage you to take a look at the video that's on our Facebook as well. What we're going to do right now is we're going to jump into this course called Canvas Topics. This is a course that we've created for all of the teachers on it. So I'm going to jump right in here.
That's Canvas.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to jump right in and switch to what's called Student View. And since I'm in Student View, this is what's going to look like when you sign in as a student or as a parent in that observer role. And what we're going to see right away in this interface is we spent a lot of time making sure that we simplified this so that navigation is very easy. And so that when the student signs in and when
No more hitting.
ever.
Caretaker
You
sign
walk
in.
in, you tell your brother you're
They have
sorry.
a very streamlined user interface. And the first thing that we put in here, and this is what we're going to be covering tonight, is what's called the Getting Started module. This is going to be available in every single course, regardless of the grade level that the student is in, regardless of who their teacher is. And the very first thing that we're going to notice about this is it says complete all items. And then we have a couple of little radio buttons right over here along the side. So what that tells me is your student, one of the very first tasks they're going to have to do is just dive right into this Getting Started module and make sure they know where all this important information is. And for you guys as parents and caretakers, this information organized in this area is really handy because you don't have to hunt for a Zoom link in an email anymore. You don't have to hunt for a teacher email address or what's going on in that course or resources. So we're going to dive right in. We're just going to click on this. We're going to click about this course. And as soon as we dive in, we're going to see a small little thumbnail of a video. And anytime you see this, you can click on this and it'll actually play. So I'm going to click on this. You see an example.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for participating in this course. Read through the Getting Started module as your first activity. Doing so will provide you with an example of how to set up your Getting Started module, as well as help you get to understand Canvas from the perspective of a student.
Okay, so again, this is a course that I've designed for teachers so that they get more and more familiar with the basics of Canvas. So scroll down and we find the course description. So in this course, the course is intended to help the teachers of USD 484 Fredonia become proficient with Canvas as a learning management system. The goal is to learn how to effectively leverage the platform to have a positive impact on student learning. So what you're going to find there as the student and the parent, you're going to find the description of that actual course that student is taking. So if it's a math course, let's say that they're in Moon Math, you're going to find that description of everything that they're going to be doing inside of Moon Math. Or if they're in 5th grade social studies with Mr. Nelson, you're going to find his description of what they're going to be learning in that class. And then you're going to have that kind of a detailed breakdown. So here you can see what the teachers are doing in this course. So it's about the built-in functionality of the course template, how to design modules, the basic functionality and features, advanced features, and tips and tricks. So again, you as the parents and students, you're going to be able to real quick jump into a course and see what is it that they're diving into, what is it that they're learning. Navigation is pretty simple now. You've got two ways that you can do this. So I'm going to click on Home real quick. And when I click on Home right away, I'm going to see that's crossed that first item off the list. So if I mouse over that, it's now completed. And if I jump back in, I can also navigate by clicking Next down here at the bottom. So here it's going to open up and it's going to tell you a little bit of information about your teacher. And again, this was just a little bit of information about me that I put in as an example for the teachers to look at. And you're going to find different information about the teacher there so that you can learn a little bit more about them. And then we're going to click Next again, and we're going to go over to contact information. Again, this is going to be helpful because you don't have to hunt for email addresses. You're going to have a direct link to the email right there. You're going to have their phone number at school, their extension number. In my case, I pass out my personal cell phone number so that people can call me if you're having a question, you have an issue at 7 o'clock at night and you need something, you can reach out. Room numbers there. So, I put them in office number 602 located in the main office. So they're going to include a brief description of where their room is. And then we're going to click Next again, and we're going to be taken right over to Zoom information. So here on Zoom information, we're going to be able to see that we have a direct link right now. We can click on this. And if I clicked on it, it would take me right into this meeting. But it's going to take you right into whichever meeting it is that the student needs to be attending. There's also that meeting number and that password available right there as well. And then if we click once more, we're going to be taken over to the Resources tab. And this Resources tab is where teachers are going to list anything like classroom rules, supply lists, frequently asked questions they might have, little things that everybody needs to know. And it's just really handy to have right there kind of at the top of the class. So I'm going to click off Resources, go back over to Home, and we're going to see now that all of these items are marked complete. So this module's been completed. I can mouse over that. I look at these individual items and they all say that they've been completed. They all say that they're viewed. So we know that we've looked at that information, and your student's going to be looking at that in the first day or two of school. And then we thought it was really important that everybody knows where that is, so that you can find your contact information, you can find Zoom information, you can really see what it is that the student's learning about in that class. So again, this Getting Started module is a common feature in all of the classes. It's going to be there in every single class, no matter which grade level your student's in, which class they're in, which teacher they're in. You're going to be able to find that information right away. You're not going to have to hunt for it or anything along those lines. So, like I said, I'm going to keep these pretty short, pretty brief. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen sharing, and I'm going to open it up for questions. If anybody has any questions they want to ask outright, or if you want to just type something in the chat, I'll be happy to stay around and ask questions. Otherwise, next steps, what I would encourage you to do is to attend the open house for your school. If you have students at Lincoln or the ELC, you're going to have open house tomorrow evening. One of the things that they're going to be doing during that time is they're going to be providing you with information so that you can sign up as an observer for your student's account. And what that will allow you to do is it'll allow you to dive in and see the classes, see the activities that your students are working on, have access to that Getting Started module, and be able to use the calendar, be able to use the to-do list, and be able to really just dive in and see all of those things. If you have students in the junior, senior high school, you're going to probably want to attend that open house next Monday evening, and you should have a letter in your mail that gives the times for the different grade levels. And again, during that time, your student's family time teacher will actually help you go through and set up that observer role so that you can have access to your student's account. Okay, any questions anybody can think of? You can either ask or you can type something in the chat. All right, well, if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I do encourage each of you to go ahead and take a look at that previous video that's on Facebook. Oh, great question there. Someone asked, will a smartphone work? Yes, absolutely. There's a Canvas Parent app that you can sign into once you've created that observer account. And then you can go in and you can see all of the course information. You can see the to-do list. You can see the calendar, so you can really stay on top of what's going on in your students' work and in your students' classes. So that's a great question. Any other questions anybody can think of? All right, well, like I said, I really encourage you to go back, take a look at the previous video. This video is going to be posted online a little bit later this evening, so anybody that needs to can review that as well. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We'll be having a couple more of these over the next several days so that we cover different features each time. And again, we're just going to cover little bits of information each time. Tomorrow, we're going to spend time covering how to turn in assignments, and we'll look at how simple assignment navigation is, participating in discussions is, incredibly simple options and very streamlined that we think will be very beneficial to both your students and to you. And we just really look forward to rolling all that out and letting you see how that works. So again, I appreciate everybody being here. Have a great evening, and we'll see you all soon.